Okay, final match of the day. Playing first. I still feel like this is a keep. Is that wrong? I don't think so. We have 2 turns to draw land, which means 22 cards. It's less than 50% chance each time. But if we do draw land, yeah, I think we keep. If we do draw land, this hand gets... If we just rattle off 2 lands, this hand straight up just gets insane. We rattle off 1 land, we're still in way good shape. So 1 land will do it. 2, ooh, uh-oh. Risky match here. I smell an Abzan aggro, which makes this hand possibly more scary for us. We'll see. Could also be Mardu aggro, which I would prefer to play. Yeah, it looks like that's what it is. Mardu aggro is less scary, but it's still a very good deck. Land, please. Thank you, deck. All right, let's go aggregate. So my opponent could attack... Oh, Crackling Doom, okay. So I guess I should have played Engineer based on that. It's okay. So if I get a land, I'll go Engineer, Equip. I think we're going to chill. My opponent wants to use a removal spell on a Thopter. I'm okay with that. Could go Kolaghan's Command. Pia and Kieran. Well, we run that too. Problem is... That's okay. Let's play a hanger back here. Because... Problem with playing Pia and Kieran is he kills Pia and Kieran. What? Guess it was just telling me the league's going to close, but the league closing's not a big deal until it's the league ending that matters. So my opponent can kill the Thopter, then we just play another Engineer and equip it again. If I get a land, that play makes even more sense because then I can start pumping Hangerback Walker, which I think is ultimately going to be better for us. So I think the nice thing in this matchup for us is that deck tends to run a lot of spot removal, which isn't that bad against us. Like, granted, he's going to get in here, but he still can't really attack with Seeker. He could play Murderous Cut or whatever, but that's okay. So we take a couple damage. We're still fine. All right, we did get the land. That's good news. So we're going to go Thopter Engineer. We're going to equip. And we're going to pass. Now, he can use Pia and Kieran Alar to blow up Hangerback Walker, but we'll get a couple Thopters out of the deal, so I'm okay with that. I'd rather have Hangerback on defense at the moment, especially since he has 1 mana up to Fiery Impulse or whatnot, so that's okay. Alright, so he is killing the Thopter again, which we're just going to have to accept. I still think leaving hanger back for pumping purposes is going to ultimately be better. Duress is going to miss, which is nice. And him getting that info is not a huge deal. He's got one card left in hand. I would say we're still in pretty good shape. I'm actually going to pump Hangerback now, because if he wants to kill Hangerback with P and Kirinalar, he's going to sack the he'd have to sack the Thopter before the damage is dealt, which I think is better. Second P and Kirinalar, losing his P and Kirinalar, sure. I do wish I had more mana, but this is fine. He's in top deck mode. I believe in our ability to top deck here. Yeah, we're going to equip and pass. So we have the gas at the moment, so we're just going to force our opponent to top deck for a while. So he pretty much has to use Pia and Kirinalar to kill our Pia and Kirinalar, or otherwise we're going to use Pia and Kirinalar to kill his Pia and Kirinalar with the Hangerback Walker. So he's just going to use the one that blocked the 3/3 to launch at the Pia and Kirinalar, bringing us to 8, but we're getting a couple Thopters off the board. And we have another Pia and Kirinalar to play, so seems fine. Whoever gets to play Pia first gets the real value. I guess Seismic Rupture seems a bit worse in this match, doesn't it? Out of sideboard, I mean. Only because he's got opposing P and Kirinalars, but it does deal with, like, Seeker the Way. So it might be good. Doing it to us seems very foolish. You'd want the Thopter trade, I would think. I mean, this is better for us because he's losing 2 of his Thopters. Basically in the hopes that... I mean, he's going to kill P and Kirin now. No? That doesn't make any sense to me. That does not make sense. It really does not make sense. But I like it. All right. So we go like this. Kill your dude. We're left with a ridiculous amount of dudes. And I'm gonna swing here, 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 here. And then we re-equip blade to here and pass. Okay, Crackling Doom, which is going to bring us to 1, but not enough to kill us. And that's not going to be good enough either, I don't think. No, it's not going to be good enough, actually. We're fine. So, the play, let's go... Well, let's do obvious block. Let's block here, and let's double block here, because I can play another Pia and Kieran and be fine. In fact, my opponent wanting to kill Pia and Kieran doesn't even seem great. Okay, so we've got 6 mana. So let's go Pia, Kieran, equip. We're going to swing with just 4 of our Thopters. I guess 1 of our Engineers. And then we'll re-equip Blade to Thopter. And pass. It's not going to be good enough. So, block, block. Okay. Pretty irrelevant, especially since he's not going to gain the life from Shambling Vent now, and he's definitely dead on the backswing. So let's just equip. Okay. Got game 1. So we know this deck runs like Abbot, Seeker, Soulfire Grandmaster. Basically, I'm trying to come up with all the cards that make Seismic Rupture worth it. I think, honestly, I think Seismic Rupture might still actually be worth it. Because I definitely don't think Roast is worth it. Let's take out the Roast. Let's bring in the Seismic Ruptures. Let's bring in the Impulses. I could bring in Negates. Negate stops Crackling Doom, which isn't insane against us. It stops Fiery Impulse, which countering that doesn't seem super worth it anyway. I think we want all the Impulses, though. Just because killing P and Kieran seems of the utmost importance. So then we just have to make 1 cut. Sky Spawner, I guess at this point seems like the easiest cut most of the time. Chief of the Foundry is more vulnerable in this matchup just because of the quantity of removal our opponent has. Like the impulses are going to be turned on most of the time. I could, I definitely still like Hangerback Walker in this matchup, although my opponent could bring in Utter End. There's a chance of that. Colligan's Command, that's right. Colligan's Command is likely in there. It's usually a 2 of. I don't mind bringing in 1 Dispel. There's just so many instances, like Murderous Cut, you know, Colligan's Command, Fiery Impulse. Just bringing in a Dispel seems okay to me. And then maybe we cut 1 more Sky Spawner, because why not? We still have enough creatures. All right, let's try this. Yeah, we'll keep it. Two Seismic Ruptures. All right. All the spot removals. That's interesting. Debating waiting to play Seismic Rupture next turn. We'll see. I think I'm just going to take it. All right, no play. I think I'm just going to Seismic Rupture anyway. Guess I could play Chief of the Foundry here. My opponent would be at P and Kirin Alar territory. I'm not sure I care about that. I'm just going to go Rupture here. My thinking is it kills Soulfire Grandmaster, first and foremost. On top of that, I'll be able to Wild Slash a P and Kirin and play a Chief of the Foundry next turn. Opponent doesn't even have a play. All right. Well, in that case, we're just going to play Pia and Kirin. He can kill it. I don't really mind. That's an interesting one. I haven't seen that sideboarded in yet. I mean, it worked pretty well for him there. I still feel like we're in pretty good shape. He does get to cantrip. Yeah, I guess that's cool. I mean, definitely saved him some damage. That's interesting. Let's go Gus Hangerback Walker. So let's just get in for 2. Play the Walker. Be Crackling Dooms now. I'll launch a Hangerback. Or maybe it's wiser to actually lose the P and Kirin Alar to play around Radiant Flames. I'm not sure about that. He just tapped a red mana, though, which maybe means he just has a Fiery Impulse. Abbot of Carol Keep. Not going to be good enough. Pia on top that you can't play and missing the land drop. Yeah, we're We are doing it. So let's punish opponent here. Actually, now that I think about that, let's play around Radiant Flames. Which means just drop the Vile Aggregate. If I launch a Hangerback at an Abbot of Carol Keep and he plays Radiant Flames, I think we're in actually a lot worse shape. We just lose everything, which I don't think is particularly good. So why don't we just play a Vile Aggregate, which next turn is going to be a real threat. And yeah, my opponent can play Crackling Doom, but actually, I guess if my opponent plays Crackling Doom, I just lose a Hangerback Walker, so that's fine. So yeah, I'm just playing this cautiously because Radiant Flames is actually very good against us. Like I said, if I'd done that play, I don't think it would have been worth it, ultimately. Now I feel like I want to draw a land, so I can go Blade Equip, swing, leave up 3 mana on my opponent's turn, so they can't really Radiant Flames. Otherwise, I guess I can just pump, leave up the mana, throw the damage at my opponent, get 4 dudes, play Chief, get in for a ton of damage. My opponent really can't play Pia and Kieran Nalaar here profitably, and they are definitely going to start taking some damage. Hollowed Moonlight, very interesting. Ghostfire Blade number 2. I think the play is Blade. Equip. Blade. Equip. Okay. I'm still okay with this. Okay, so it looks like my opponent's just going to be able to do the Radiant Flames, unfortunately. My opponent had the right goods in the right combination. So we're going to get Radiant Flames, which is a problem, but nothing to be done. So we'll lose our board. Yeah, opponent had pretty ideal. I think opponent probably had pretty ideal spells there. It was Doom, Impulse, now Radiant Flames to lose everything, but that's okay. I mean, we still have some pretty powerful top deck power. He's still going to have to deal with a Chief that's inflated. He still has to deal with Foundry the Consoles with Ghostfire Blades. We've got spot removal for stuff, so I'm feeling okay. And if he doesn't have Radiant Flames, he's definitely in big, big trouble. Okay. I think if he had it there, that would have been a pretty good time to use it. So I guess I could have burned the Abbot and gotten in with Pia and Kirinalar too. Might have been better. Probably better, right? We'll take the damage. See if he's got the Radiant Flames. I'm really surprised my opponent waited on that. They could have top decked it. But yeah, I'm 1 mana short from cracking Foundry, which is fine. Could have Murderous Cut. Could have another Crackling Doom. Could have Pia. Okay. So let's just Impulse Pia now. Oh wait, I can crack my own Foundry. No, I think we just Impulse Pia. Because now if he wants to launch a Thopter, which they can't really. Okay, so let's get in. Opponent had the second one, which is a bummer, but happens. Don't need to prevent damage just yet, I don't think. Hangerback's pretty good. Might need to bust Fire Impulse now. I guess I maybe should have done it. Hallowed Moonlight, alright. So, you can cast it to cantrip. I guess that's pretty good. Murderous Cut? If it is Murderous Cut, I think my opponent would want to attack first. So I think it's something else. It is Murderous Cut. Why would you, Oh, because of Hallowed Moonlight. What am I talking about? What am I talking about? Land draw there is actually really good, especially since it's a Foundry. So I think the play is crack Foundry. Opponent's got 1 card left. And equip a Thopter. And then pass. So took 2 extra damage from a Thopter because I didn't use Fire Impulse. I guess I didn't realize how much of my mana I was going to be using over the next couple turns. I kind of assumed I was going to find a better target, but I don't know why I assumed that. Hallowed Moonlight if my opponent cantripped into Murderous Cut. It worked out pretty sick for my opponent. And yeah, I guess Negate for the Radiant Flames play, it makes sense. This is a matchup where Radiant Flames is better for us than the Seismic Rupture is, for sure. So that's something to consider. Maybe a 1-1 split. 1 Rupture, 1 Radiant Flames. Oh, Kolaghan's Command. Okay. My opponent's getting back P and Kirnalar. Alright. Well, guess we're in pretty big trouble now. Yeah, and my opponent had Impulse. That's pretty bad for us. So I don't know if we can live now. Rupture kills a couple things. Then we have to go Impulse plus... Okay. Yeah. That was pretty bad for us. I mean, thankfully our opponent's in top deck mode, but I definitely have some pretty huge regrets about not playing the Impulse on a Thopter earlier. It's absolutely came back and haunted us. So, lesson learned on that one. So let's go Rupture, Impulse, Wild Slash, and we do need our opponent to miss here. I guess quite a bit. We need our opponent to miss quite a bit. Thank you. Okay. So I guess I can crack Foundry plus equip. We'll do that. I swear that deck only plays I swear that deck only plays 2. I might be wrong, but I'm almost positive that deck only plays 2, which is a pretty huge bummer. So I guess we have to bring in the negates. I'm not really happy about it, but I guess that's the way it is. So we'll bring in some negates. Probably take out a Wild Slash, I think. Maybe we just don't run the Ruptures. Rupture's okay. It's probably not necessary. I'd rather just spot removal. Okay, so definitely made a mistake there that actually ended up probably costing us the game. How did I really didn't realize that Fiery Impulse play was going to come back to haunt us that much, but it absolutely did. Yeah, we got to keep this. So I guess we get to go Hanger back into leaving up negate plus pump is pretty nice, actually. Certainly not in a big rush to play Ghostfire Blade. Soulfire Grandmaster, sure. Hangerback number 2 is pretty sexy here. We're just gonna do it. And I'm actually just going to pump now. He can get in with Soulfire Grandmaster. I'm okay with that. Next turn I can do some double pumps plus leave up negate, which I think is pretty big. Abbott. The reason I pumped on my turn is in case my opponent had some spicy play there. So I can actually... This might be a good turn to play P and Kieran. It's much better to do it. If my opponent plays Radiant Flames, I end up netting 3 guys. He kills his own guys. He can't... No, he could do it for 1, and both of his guys would live. He'd kill my Hanger Backwalker and 2 tokens, but he wouldn't kill my P and Kieran Alar. My other option is... Yeah, why don't we just kill Grandmaster? But then what do I do about his Pia and Kieran? Because I can't negate it. He probably has it. He's got 4. We've got 4. If I play Fiery Impulse, I can pump my Hangerbacks, but then... It's questionable. We're going to play Pia and Kieran, I think. If my opponent has Radiant Flames, though, it's a good question. It's debatable. Let's just pass. I think we're going to do one more turn of Hangerback Pump. If my opponent has P and Kieran, we'll just kill it and then play our own probably. We'll just impulse the P and Kieran. I think we'll be okay. We'll still get to pump. So my opponent does not have Spell Mastery, which is also something to keep in mind. No attacks. Okay, so let's pump here. Let's pump here. It's letting it happen with no plays. It's interesting. All right, let's go Blade. And we'll pass. My opponent has Utter End, we can negate it. So if my opponent Crackling Dooms, we'll pump the Hanger back, get 4 dudes, still leave up negate plus impulse. Which I think is better. Feels like my opponent probably wants to Crackling Doom. Cooligan's Command. We're not going to let that happen, actually. I think I'm just going to counter that. Abbott number 2. All right. So now I think I want to impulse the Soulfire Grandmaster. Otherwise my opponent can kill something with impulse and get it back, which I don't like. He doesn't. Let's just bring this up to 4. Okay, I'm just so close to being able to play and use Pia and Kieran that I think I'd rather hold up on that. So I think we're going to swing with this hanger back. And we're just going to re-equip here. And pass. Guess this deck does run Silk Wrap too. I didn't really... Wasn't ultra careful about that. Another reason to not play Pia and Kieran is we just know about Radiant Flames, but I guess Radiant Flames is a lot less big of a deal when you've got big dudes. I mean, he maxes out at 3, right? Okay. So he only has 2 mana. I definitely want another mana here. If I can get another mana, I can play P and kill his. Oh, didn't get it. Well, now I guess I can play P. Well, it's not the best, though. I see the issue. Yeah. That makes it a lot more difficult. I think that we're just going to chill. I need one more land. If I can get another land, I can throw a hanger back at his P and Kieran. I could have played P and Kieran left up negate, but he still gets to kill it with his own. So I think this is correct. Silk Wrap. Well, we're going to have to negate that, which I don't love. Really want to land off the top. If we do get the land off the top, we're in really good shape, I think. That's surprising. So I'm curious why. I guess that means my opponent has another P and Kieran is my guess. Otherwise, I'm not exactly sure. I don't think either of my guys die, so I don't care about that. Yeah, that worked out ridiculously well for us. We talked to land here, we're in good shape. Sky Spawner, that's surprising. Sky Spawner is, I guess, technically fine, though. Well, we swing for lethal, I guess, which seems pretty good. It forces a block, which I think is pretty good at this point. Let's force a block. Chumping both. I don't know what that means. Radiant Flames doesn't do anything, so I'm just gonna play some dudes here and pass. Impulse, okay. All right. Still want to land. Did get the land. All right, so let's go swing for the fences plus throw it P and Kieran. Yeah, it's the play. Well, that's interesting. Now our opponent doesn't even have, yeah, all right, we're just going to play P and Kieran. Our opponent doesn't even actually have an artifact now, which means he wants to play Radiant Flames. It doesn't even matter. Can't believe I messed or effed this win up. I wonder how my opponent had the win. I mean, that attack with the Abbot of Carol Keep was definitely incorrect. How could my opponent not see that I could pump my guys? All right, well, did we just go 3-0 again today? It's a beautiful day to be playing this deck. Just crazy. We're riding a, what is it? It's got to be like a, what is that, 17 out of 18 of our last matches we've won. This is just getting absurd. This is getting absolutely absurd. Hope you're digging it. I'm obviously having fun riding this momentum. So, Oath of the Gate, what is it, Gate Watch? Oath of the Gate Watch out in 4 days online. I'll be jamming those. I can't imagine I'll be winning as many of those drafts as I am with this, winning with this constructed deck. But, all right, we'll see you tomorrow.